the busiest place in Las Vegas, only like a mile away, the Las Vegas Boulevard, also known as the Strip. So yeah, there's a lot of logistics.
So, yeah, there's some issues. There's a lot of problems right now.
It's not necessarily walkable. I mean, like if you're on the Strip, you really can't. I mean, you could try, like a lot of the tourists that come to Vegas and try to walk to the Stratosphere and then realize that was a bad idea.
Now, if they had an overpass to walk from Mandalay Bay over, you're probably okay with that. That's not a long walk. But again, you're not having the tailgate experience in the parking lot.
That's right.
You're going to take the Weber grill to the blackjack table and fire up the grill and go right there next to...
Keep the Webers in the hotel room.
Oh, yeah, fire them up there. So all the issues, and perhaps the biggest issue that they've got is one that everybody knows about already, is that there's $750 million in tax revenue that they are receiving from the state of Nevada. SB 1, Senate Bill 1, was passed in the special session to be able to give them that money from a room tax. And what they're going to do with that is, what it does is it makes them accountable to us, to the people of the state of Nevada. Is that they have to be accountable to us and our public leaders through the public leaders in a republic. Okay, that's how that sort of works. And right now, I think our leaders are sort of cheerleaders. They're not really looking at this critically.
Well, I mean,
they're cheerleaders.
Everybody wants
I want them here.
Team.
Yeah, I want an NFL team. I want them to, but I don't want us to screw it. I don't want us to screw the pooch with a stadium in a wrong location, in a horrible location.
You know, the stadium in that location's not bad. Obviously, there's the logistics otherwise, but compared to some of those other options, I don't think they're as feasible, as workable for the tourists. They would be great for the locals, like especially they talked about.
It's for the locals.
It is, but with this NFL thing, I think it's going to also bring a ton of the tourists down there. I think, you know, and we've talked about this before. It's the locals that do feed the teams. However, you have the Vegas Golden Knights, which is an expansion team, which is going to be fed by locals, and that's we're the ones that are going to keep it around. Because there's not much fan base already. It's going to be the local fan base that's going to help drive the ticket sales. But when it comes to the Raiders, though, I mean, a very established fan base, a decently local fan base already that are already here.
Yeah.
A fan base that travels. We all know that the Raiders fans travel. So, I mean, the thing is you could easily cater to the tourists over the locals in this case, and goes against a lot of kind of, modern magic of how to build the sports franchise. But unique, Las Vegas is a unique place. I mean, of millions more. I mean, look at the population of what's the population of Las Vegas? A few 100,000?
Of the city, but the valley has over 2 million.
And how many?
The valley's over 2 million.
And how many tourists do we get a year?
We get 40 million tourists a year.
Exactly. So, I mean, that math is – there's no other city in the country like that.
Right, that has that disparity.
That kind of difference in, a 10-fold or 20-fold population to tourists.
You mean Des Moines doesn't have that?
They might. I don't know.
Hold on now.
12 people in Des Moines, 24
people visit.
24 visitors.
That's doubled. They doubled it. Hot damn. Would you look at that?
It's interesting. It's going to be a lot of different dynamics you're going to have to figure in, and it's already an established and rabid fan base of the Raiders in which everybody already wants. So, I think it's a little bit different where, if let's say it was at Cashman like they originally talked about, Cashman area, I don't think it would cater to the tourists as much, and I don't think people are going to make the trip the same.
No, you're right. That would make it more difficult. But I'm going to lean on the local side. I'm just going to go that side. Been here 33 years. I'm gonna let's build this stadium for us first, tourists second. But you make very good points. But see, MGM is going to want to look at it the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to look at the other. But again, what makes the difference is $750 million from SB1. By the way, I didn't realize that until I did crunch some numbers. Prior to this, the largest amount of tax dollars given to an entity to build a stadium was $225 million.
Well, we set records every day.
We didn't just set it. We tripled it. We blew it out of the water.
Hey.
Okay, we blasted that record out. Largest entitlement ever given to a franchise. The other issue here is the Raiders are the paupers by NFL standards. They're the poor folks on the 32 NFL teams. They're at the bottom as for money, as for the money that the owners have.
Yep.
How did Robert Kraft make his money?
He had a large business empire of investments. And
Is
stuff
he a
like
billionaire?
that. He is a billionaire. I
A
believe,
billionaire. Okay. Paul Allen, Microsoft, owns the Seahawks.
Yep.
Jerry Jones, oil, owns the Cowboys. So you have all these people that own NFL teams just for fun.
Yep.
And so to them, you know, it's they're going to build a stadium. They're going to make a stadium. Jerry Jones built a stadium on his own because he could afford it and did it. And here it's the Raiders need that money to be able to do it. So my point is, who should be calling the shots? We should be calling the shots a little bit more on what happens there instead of the Raiders calling the shots.
That's true.
Or
That's
the
true.
casinos calling
Well,
the shots.
who's paying for it? So are the people paying for it, or are the tourists actually paying for it through the room tax?
Okay, you make a good point there. It technically, even though it's money that, yes, the tourists are paying the tourists that through a room tax, which makes us less competitive as a city against other cities because we have this room tax. And so you listen to the casino people, and they complain about the room tax.
People are coming to Vegas no matter what.
They're still coming to Vegas. We're still going to break records. Again, a number of people here. So that being said, yes, but once you have that tax and you take that money out, it becomes public funds. So it is public money then, and where it comes from is irrelevant, other than for this discussion, you and I, and you it's a great point because that's where it is coming from. But
the thing
then
is,
you have to use it prudently. You have to decide how you're going to spend that money.
You're right, and the question, the big debate, to play devil's advocate, is this was non-allocated money that didn't exist ever. It's not like they reallocated it from schools and moved it over to the Las Vegas Raiders. This was an additional tax that was created to fund this. So it's not like, you can say, hey, this would have been public money, because it wouldn't have been. It just wouldn't have existed. So they created a slush fund off of, public, public taxes for the rooms for this reason. And it's...
And I'll say this, stay tuned. There is an alternative site that's being discussed that I've talked to some people about that would be perfect for this.
Oh.
That hits all the buttons and hits everything. And Mark Davis has toured the site, saw the site probably 18 months ago. He visited the site, and it may be a possibility. The problem is he wouldn't control as much of the stadium if it went to this other site.
Gotcha.
200 acres, plenty of room. And
lots more parking.
Lots more parking. You can create events around there. You got plenty of room. Okay, that's plenty of room for a stadium instead of just a box in a very small parking lot.
Yep.
It becomes an event place. So that being said, and that I can talk more about that at some point in the future. But you had baseball stuff.
So yeah. Either way, exciting times in the Las Vegas Raiders' future, and I'm looking forward to it.
I am as well.
So have you heard about the Pat Neshek beef that's going on with Zach Greinke?
No.
So
I know Zach's in Arizona.
Yeah, we got Colorado.
Dodgers dumped him a while back.
And then Colorado Rockies relief pitcher Neshek.
Okay.
He is an avid baseball card and autograph collector. Okay. Loves getting autographs from other players on other teams. He'll take cards with them, specific cards, and be like, "Can you sign this for me?" And he collects,
as a player. He's a player, and he's okay.
And, as a fan myself, I enjoy that, and I think that's good to see, right? Well, he takes it to a little bit of an extreme level where if he has a baseball card with like 2 or 3 different guys on it, he'll draw a little box and say, "Can you sign in that box?" and "Can you sign in that?" And he, makes sure that, like, everything's so meticulous and stuff like that. So he goes to Zach Greinke because he wants his autograph, and he goes to him during the All-Star break, and Greinke's like, "No, not right now, not right now." And
not right. He refused an autograph for the.
Yeah. So
Jeez.
He refused an autograph, and then later on, Neshek comes up to Greinke and asks him again, and he basically just says, I forgot what the exact quote was, but in this case, here's what Neshek says. Thanks, guys. Greinke stiffed me once again. I asked him at the All-Star game if he would sign for me, and he said he would. A couple of weeks ago, we played them, and I sent over the cards I needed signed. Basically, 3 league leaders' cards with Kershaw and Wainwright already done. So Kershaw and Wainwright already had their signatures on the card, and 2 from 2015 to complete the set. He said no. I waited around for him during batting practice and went up to him, and he totally denied having the conversation at the All-Star game, even though at the All-Star game he said, yeah, just get back to me, just not right now. I then asked why this was a problem, and he said it's because I wear him out. That is what he told Neshek. He said, you wear me out, you're wearing me out.
Just sign it, and you're not. Just sign it, and you take.
Yeah, hard to wear someone out when he has never signed for me. This is the only a-hole in Major League Baseball that has been a turd to me. So if you want to read the entire story, interestingly enough, this was found on a baseball card collector's message board called sportscollectors.net. Neshek, who has publicly said his username is Heat17, so HEAT17 on the site sportscollectors.net. He wrote this huge scathing story about him and Greinke.
Let's make it a post on our website. One of the first. Should we put it up on the Vegas Sportscast?
Yeah, we'll put this. We'll put this story up there. And so I mean, he was trying to get this autograph. He said no. So going back to the conversation, he says, I said, can you just get these done? It'll take 5 seconds. Just draw a little Z on it for me. He said, no, I will never sign for you.
Wow.
I walked away. A couple minutes later, I confronted him in the outfield while he was jogging and told him what I thought of him. He just kept on running, then said I wouldn't even sign for your kid if he asked. So
boom.
So there you go. There's obviously some beef going on. So it's
okay,
unbelievable.
I think it's sort of weird that he's that much of a collector. I think that's a little bit weird.
A little weird that as a professional baseball player.
But still, Zach Greinke, chill out, buddy. Who do you think you are, Bill Russell? Who notoriously does not sign autographs.
You're right.
What number is Bill Russell?
Not 33.
What's 3 plus 3? Hold on
6.
a second. Okay. I'm just saying, it's getting creepier.
So
the end of the world is near, and it's
not
getting
near.
creepier.
So yeah, I mean, so it's interesting. I'll put that as when we get our website up, we'll put that article up there. We'll put it on our Twitter as well. You guys can read more about it. Neshek and Greinke going at it. Let us know what your thoughts are on that, because it's odd. I mean, both play devil's advocate on both ends. Both a little bit in the wrong, one a little bit weird, pushy, and stuff like that. But I do know a friend of mine that his mother. So a buddy of mine, former Air Force guy, he was deployed. Big fan of baseball and stuff like that. So his mother went to a Colorado Rockies New York Yankees game, and she took baseball cards with him while he was deployed. He was overseas, and she took baseball cards with her, and she was going around trying to get different autographs. And apparently, if I remember the story correctly, I heard this years ago, she actually went to school or knows Mariano Rivera from her home country. Where was he from? Where was he from, Mariano Rivera?
Somewhere south of the border.
Colombia or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I know baseball's racist. Is what the sign they put up in Boston.
That's
but
true.
Half the players seem to be from south of the border.
So she gets together with Mariano Rivera, and he said, they actually allow fans, or maybe they used to. I don't know if they still do. Colorado Rocky Stadium, they allowed fans to go out to the field before the game start, and you can actually converse with the players. They're all behind like a rope, but you can actually walk the field and kind of see them closer than normal. So she sees Jeter, and she asks
Fred Jeter, Bill Jeter,
Derek.
Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter.
Little known shortstop from New York
Yankees.
So she asks him, "Hey, Jeter, my son's deployed in the military. He's deployed to Iraq. Do you mind signing a baseball card for him?" And he goes, "Not right now. I'm stretching." Right? He kind of gives her an attitude.
Right.
So she's like, "Are you serious?"